Let's go! Go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go! This is what I'm talking about. This is the energy. Did you hear the Garden? Did you hear that place? They were waiting for this. They were waiting for a game like this. They needed it. They wanted it. They craved it. And the Knicks just gave it to them. They counted us out. Everybody knew. They said we couldn't do it. Everybody thought the Celtics won one game. It's now 2-1. Anything can happen. They flipped it back on the Knicks. The Knicks have to do better. The Knicks have to do more. The Knicks. We were still up 2-1. And the Knicks have to do better. Put some respect where you need to put that respect. So what did we have to do? Ladies and gentlemen, we had to shock the world. We did it once. We did it twice. And they wanted us to do it again. Challenge accepted. What did we do? We shocked the world again. Biggest game, biggest win in MSG in probably decades. That's how big this game was. That's how much this game mattered. How much this win mattered. The Knicks are up 3-1 on the reigning, defending NBA champions, somewhere that they thought we would never be, a place they didn't want us to be. And clearly, given the lack of a whistle in tonight's game, clearly the NBA did not want the Knicks here. Clearly, they wanted this series tied 2 apiece going to Boston. Well, too bad. Ruined those plans. No thanks. We like it like this. 3-1. And last time I checked, the Knicks are undefeated in the postseason on the road. We want that Game 5 in Boston. We want it. You want to know why? Because as much as we love hearing the crowd at MSG, we love to silence an arena. Now, you might want to look, and you're looking across the board. How did we win? How did we do this? Because we were down 11 after 1, and then we were down 11 after halftime. And then if you look a couple of minutes into the third quarter, we're down 14 points, the most in the game. So you might be thinking at that time, third quarter collapse. However, we had an answer for that third quarter collapse. Now, it started in waves. Let me get you caught up here in the waves. It started with Karl-Anthony Towns. Then that went to Mikal Bridges. And then, like we always need him, like he's always there for us, like he always will be, the reason that New York basketball is back on the map again. All of you guys, if you're watching the stream, do it one time for the captain. Salute to Captain Clutch. You want to talk about a superstar showing you what a superstar is? The battle that we saw tonight, the battle in the third quarter between Jalen Brunson and Jason Tatum. That's playoff basketball. That's superstar basketball. That's a superstar against a superstar, and nobody wants to give up. Nobody wants to quit. We're going to get to this a little bit later on in the post-game show because it is a little bit of a somber note. It takes away from the excitement, but I do want to say it really quickly. If you're watching the game, Jason Tatum, unfortunately, goes down with some type of, I believe it's a foot injury. I don't really know what happened on the play. He's obviously in a lot of pain. He goes to the back. He can't finish the game. New Yorkers, We love to win. We love the competition. We love that. We don't love injuries. We don't wish injuries on anyone. So I think I speak for everybody in New York. It was a great game, a great series thus far. What a win. Probably the best win of the postseason, given the team the Knicks beat, given all the expectations against the Knicks, what they were able to do and pull off. However, this battle between Tatum and Brunson is going to be explored and looked at for a long time because that was the level that we saw. Credit to Jason Tatum. I don't wish injury on anybody. I hope he's okay. I hope he's not serious because the battle that he gave us, Tatum versus Brunson in the third quarter, I was eating my popcorn like this. Out of control. I mean, if you weren't on your feet screaming loudly during this game, I don't know what to tell you. But let me tell you one thing, though. The Knicks right now, after the superstar performance of Jalen Brunson, after Mikal Bridges goes on a heater, comes alive, and helps the Knicks in the non-Brunson minutes, keep the lead, stabilize the lead long enough for Captain Clutch to come in the game, and then those two together, along with OG Anunoby and a couple of other people as well, too, help the Knicks keep the lead, maintain the lead, grow the lead, and we are talking about a Knicks victory in Game 4. New York, we are here. New York shocks the world again, and New York wins Game 4 against the Celtics. We lead this series 3-1. Back on the road, we go for Game 5 against Boston on the road in the postseason, where the Knicks have not lost one game yet. I am ready for it. I am here for it. And I think I speak for all Knicks fans. This moment where we are right now, this close from the ECF, this is all we ever wanted. At least one of the steps to all we ever wanted. You wanted change. You wanted things to be different. You wanted something to cheer for. I think the Knicks gave us something to cheer for and then some. Because I believe, you believe, we all believe that this team can not only take this series, but go all the way to potentially the NBA Finals. We're going to break down exactly how the Knicks got back into this game, came back, overcame a 14-point deficit, took the lead, kept the lead, and stole Game 4, and now we're headed to Game 5. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today. If you're enjoying the content, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and make sure you have notifications on as well, too. If you enjoy the content and you want to help support the channel, the best way to do that is to hit that subscribe button. And now, let's get started. The Knicks win Game 4 with a superstar showdown. We're going to break down a lot of elements of this game. We're going to talk about all of the different aspects where the Knicks thrived, where the Celtics thrived. However, I want to spend time moving forward on post games on the moments that matter most. We're going to talk about some of these key points. Yeah, the Knicks didn't do what they needed to do in the first quarter. Yeah, we were down by 11. Yeah, it was going back and forth. We allowed a couple of Derek White threes. We're going to talk about that, I promise. But I want to highlight what changed in this game to allow the Knicks to win. I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to jump right to the chat. So if you guys are there right now, stay active, get your questions ready, give me your takes, because I want to hear New York. I want to see you guys get hyped. But we all saw it. Going after halftime, we're down 11 points already. Early in the third quarter, they go up 14 points. It's the most they've led in the entire game. I'm thinking what a lot of you guys are thinking. Are we seeing that third quarter collapse again? Have the Knicks just given up? I mean, it's not as bad as the game 3 25-point half-quarter deficit that we were in, but it was still pretty bad nonetheless. You don't want to be down in the game. I even remember when the game started thinking to myself, can we never, ever start the game strong? Do we always have to be down? Can we do something? Can we get the lead, keep a strong lead and maintain it? And thankfully, I was patient and I waited till the third quarter. That third quarter, for me, probably my favorite third quarter of playoff basketball for this Knicks team that I've seen all series long. Because it didn't start with Jalen Brunson. That did not start with Jalen. That quarter and what we were able to do to get back in that game started with Karl-Anthony Towns, his aggression, him attacking, and also Mikal Bridges and his mid-range shot. Mikal Bridges from the mid-range is an assassin. It's money. He's not missing. It's unstoppable. The man is unstoppable from the mid-range. And because of him and Karl-Anthony Towns starting it off, we had Jalen Brunson versus Jason Tatum. 3 for 3, mid-range for mid-range, drive for drive, going to the line, going to the line. When I'm talking about it was a battle, it was a battle. And I loved every single moment of it. This is playoff basketball. This is what you live for. This is why you watch the NBA, to see third quarters like that. If you can't be excited about that, I don't know what to tell. When I'm saying I couldn't even sit in my chair. I'm leaning on the walls. I'm like this with my hands. I'm jumping up and down. I'm looking at my son. I'm looking at the walls. I'm throwing my hands up. I can't believe what's going on in front of my eyes. Bad turnovers lead to broken plays, lead to other plays, lead to sensational plays, lead to captain clutch time. What am I watching in this third quarter? Masterclass. Absolute masterclass. Jalen Brunson and that Knicks team, their defense, what they were able to do, how they were able to turn off what the Celtics were able to do from 3 in the first half. They shot 54% from 3 in that first half. They ended the game about 33%. That was the difference, and that was one of the main reasons that the Knicks won. We're going to get to that because the defense was crazy, but we needed somebody else tonight. We needed an extra person to help. It couldn't be Karl-Anthony Towns. It couldn't be Jalen Brunson. We needed somebody else, and thankfully, we got a couple of people that contributed, but the two main people that did was Wingstop. Mikal Bridges, for me, way more, but OG Anunoby, defensively, and when the plays matter, he came through, he did what he needed to do, and he was able to help the Knicks steal this game, seal this victory, and have game 4 for the Knicks. 3 games to 1. Go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go. This is what we wanted. We always wanted to be here. I'm losing my mind. I am so happy. This is exactly what I've always wanted. If you guys wanted to know, if you guys were ever curious why I even started the podcast after watching this team for years, I wanted a moment that I could love like this, that I could appreciate like this, that I could share like this with everybody. I don't know what to say. You can see it from my face. This is as raw as it gets. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm thrilled. We're 3-1 right now against the Celtics. Nobody had us here. Unbelievable. Unbelievable game. Unbelievable series. Just incredible all around. Let's not wait anymore. Without further ado, let's get to your take in the chat, gang, and then we're going to break down the game a little bit more. We also have the roundup to talk about, so we're going to break down some crazy topics that went down today. If you guys want to talk about the Dallas Mavericks getting Cooper Flag, We could talk about that too, maybe later on in the show, but let's go to the chat, gang, see what you guys have to say. Eddie, my guy. Oh, mad comments coming through. My guy. He says, New York Knicks, world champs, 2025 for real Knicks fans, not fake Stephen A. Hey, you know what it is. My guy Jay in the house. Let's go. King Blaze says, JB Clutch Murderer. I love that name. I have to create a t-shirt with that name. That's a good name, by the way. Shout out to King for that one. Jalen Brunson is phenomenal. I mean, I don't know what else do you say about Jalen Brunson and the Superstar Showdown? We're going to talk about that showdown. Right after we get through the chat, gang, I'm going right to what that showdown did. Well, breaking down the score and then the showdown. But shout out to you guys. Shout out to the 202 people right now in the stream. If you guys haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss any time we go live. I appreciate you guys. Josh says 4 out of 5 Knicks players with 20+ points. Oh my goodness. I gotta agree. That's how you win, though. That's how you beat the Celtics. It has to be a team affair. You can't do it with Jalen and Cat only. You need more people. Max B says, happy for you, Troy, and happy for all the fans. Hey, man, I'm happy for everybody in the community. This is what we all wanted. This is why I always say, shock the world, keep believing, don't stop believing, keep your faith, because this team has shown you time and time again that if you give them your faith, they are going to reward you for it. Captain Clutch has showed you that a number of times. You got to give it at this point. James Bates says, we played great tonight. We need that intensity for the whole game. We do. 48 minutes. I would love to see this team lock in for 48 minutes. But you know what? It's really hard to argue with the win, isn't it? For me, it is anyways. King Blaze says we beat them in 5. GQ Magfed says, Mikkel, F those picks. Let's go. Nobody better say 5 first-round picks to me again. Don't at me. Don't DM me. Don't leave a comment. Don't say it no more. I don't want to hear it anymore. Stop telling me about these first-round picks. You ain't saying nothing anymore. You watched that fourth quarter? You watched that fourth quarter? You saw Mikal Bridges, the mid-range king, go off? Okay. No more picks. I don't care about those picks. I don't care. I don't care about any of those picks. I care about what we're doing now. 3-1 is what we're doing now, in case anybody missed that. Cody, game of the year for MSG fans. Game of the year. Biggest game of MSG in years, in decades. I've never enjoyed a win more than I've enjoyed that win. It must be years. It got to be since Melo. Probably since Melo, in terms of me wanting and feeling that win. That was against the Celtics too, ironically. Eddie says, I always said, no matter what, New York Knicks win this in 5. And I'll be, you know what? They're going to do it in 5. Go New York Knicks. Let's go. Marcel says, game of my life. And for my guy Rodney, blood in the water. We need to use everybody that got us here and we can win. This was my favorite game of the postseason. I think I said it to start the show. This is my favorite game of the postseason. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Brunson shot after a sore and he loses him. I mean, that was one of the greatest shots in probably Knicks history. So that's a great shot. But in terms of game, this is the best game for me of the postseason, especially because it was the Boston Celtics and it was our superstar in Jalen Brunson going off against their superstar in Jason Tatum. That's why it was so important to me, because it was like we were taking their best punch, but we were giving them our best punch. It was haymaker after haymaker. Loved it. Amazing game. Amazing. Vince says, OKC versus Knicks in the finals. Hey, what about the Timberwolves versus Knicks in the finals? Can you imagine that? Imagine what that would be. Fans would lose their minds. I might lose my voice by the end of the stream. Excuse me. All right. One more comment, and then we're done. We're going to jump right back to the post game, and we're going to talk about what happened tonight. Really probably starting with that superstar duel. Let's see here. Jonathan says, before we talk about the finals, we focused on health. And if we play in the finals, we got to be 100% sharp, and especially with the backup bench players. I'm glad you said that, because for me, first of all, I'm not going to knock the game at all. Not yet. When we get to the team stats and we talk about the players, what they did, what they contributed, what they didn't contribute, we're going to talk about the bench and all that other stuff. I didn't think the bench was bad tonight, but I definitely understand where you're coming from. I do seek a little bit more from the bench. I do feel we don't have an X factor like we need off the bench. The Celtics kind of do. We need to have a way to combat that. I think Deuce McBride is the answer, but he's not stepped up in that way yet. However, not going to really talk about that yet. It's going to be a little bit later on in the show. Let's focus on what we need to focus on right now. As I said, the Knicks have won game 4. We lead this series against the Boston Celtics 3-1. We are now headed back on the road for game 5 to face the Boston Celtics, potentially win that game, win this series, and go to the Eastern Conference Finals. That would be an amazing achievement and absolutely what many Knicks fans want to see. But if you go back to tonight's game and you have to look at one of the many reasons why the Knicks won, you're going to look at that third quarter and you're going to look at the superstar showdown that we saw between Jalen Brunson and Jason Tatum. My favorite quarter of the postseason, my favorite game of the postseason, and the biggest win in MSG in years. Shout out to the Knicks, but also shout out to Jalen Brunson and what this team was able to achieve. Jalen Brunson and the Knicks beat the Boston Celtics 121-113. They lead the series 3-1. And like I said, with that superstar showdown, NBA on ESPN says it better than I could right now. These two stars in the biggest moments also show down and show why they are superstars. It was a tough ending for Jason Tatum after an incredible battle with Jalen Brunson all night long. For anybody just watching or maybe didn't catch the full game, maybe watch some of the end of the fourth quarter there, Jason Tatum had a great game, strong game. We're going to review the numbers in a second. But unfortunately, as the Celtics were turning the ball over and Mikal Bridges was kind of going into his path, OG Anunoby was trying to go steal the ball, Tatum fell in a way, looked really bad. He was in a lot of pain, could not move. Celtics had to call a timeout. I believe he was wheelchaired after he was helped off the court into their locker room. So we don't know the severity of the injury yet. But I said it before, we don't want to win in that way. We don't want to win because of injuries. We don't like when people say, well, the only reason you won was because of nothing. Makes New Yorkers more mad when you put something over what we've achieved. We don't like that. So that's exactly why we never want to see injuries happen. More than anything else, but also we're competitive. We're not, vile, evil. We don't want to see anything bad happen. So shout out to Jason Tatum. Had a great game. I hope he recovers. I hope it's not serious. And I hope he can come back during this series because he made this game must watch. He made you go grab your popcorn all game long because he was hot all game. The third quarter is when the Knicks responded back. But Tatum, he was hot even in the first half. Check out these numbers as you see it here. Jason Tatum, 42 points, 8 rebounds, 4 steals. He was doing everything for the Celtics. He was playing great defense, scoring, getting rebounds in the passing lanes. I mean, you can't really say enough about Jason Tatum. He really tried to help the Celtics win in any way possible tonight. You got to give him credit there. But you also have to give credit to Captain Clutch. We don't win this game without Jalen Brunson. And when Jason Tatum was throwing that haymaker to New York could have either took it or they could have responded back. And Jalen Brunson decided to respond back and drop 39 points with 5 rebounds and 12 assists. He shot 14 of 25 from the field, and he was 7 of 9 from the line. In Jason Tatum's case, He was 16 of 28 from the field. So both players extremely efficient in terms of what they were doing and how they were trying to play and help their teams try to win the game. But ultimately, when it came down to it, Captain Clutch was able to be there for his team. Obviously, he was not dealing with some form of injury like Jason Tatum was to close out the game. He was huge for the Knicks down the stretch. Captain Clutch was there. He helped the Knicks close it out. And New York was able to win the second half. And really, that third quarter set off everything for New York and what they wanted to achieve. Give me a second, guys. I need to drink a little bit of water because I'm losing my voice here. All right, I'm back, guys. So I'm looking at the quarter-to-quarter breakdown here. You can see the Knicks were down big in the first quarter, 39-28. That didn't continue in the second. We played better in the second quarter. However, we were still down 11 points going into halftime. And then, even though the Celtics had a big third quarter to start off, the Knicks responded amazingly to close out that third quarter around the 5 to 6 minute mark. We closed it strong, and we ended that quarter on a 37-23 run. And honestly, that run is what sparked everything and our comeback. And that run right there is what you're going to point to as the reason why the Knicks won this game. They used all the momentum that they built up in that third quarter, and they used it in the fourth quarter as well to close out the Boston Celtics. And they did it in extraordinary fashion. But we have to give credit, again, to a couple of different players. We talked about Jalen Brunson. We talked about what he did against Jason Tatum. We talked about the superstar showdown, the fact that we don't win this game without Jalen Brunson. All those things are true. Shout out to Captain Clutch again. Another game that he comes through big for New York. But we needed other players to step up. We needed somebody else other than Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns to do something else on offense. And early on in this game, we knew who that player was going to be. It was going to be Mikal Bridges. Even though he didn't have it going from three, really poor shooting from three. Mid-range, he was hitting everything he put up. And in that fourth quarter, when Jalen Brunson was on the bench, you see it there. The Knicks in that fourth quarter outscored the Celtics 33-28. Jalen Brunson didn't play to start that fourth quarter. The reason we were able to keep the lead and stabilize the offense was because of Mikal Bridges. It wasn't only him, but a lot of credit goes to him because he was scoring a lot in that fourth quarter. It was Jalen Brunson, then it was Mikal Bridges, then it was OG Anunoby and Karl-Anthony Towns. Really, in that order, in terms of scoring and in terms of impact. And I love to see that. I love to see other players actually step up and do things that we need them to do. Jalen Brunson was Captain Clutch. He came through when we needed him. But in order for the Knicks to even make this a game, to battle back from 14 down, we needed Mikal Bridges and every mid-range shot. We needed OG Anunoby and every aggressive drive. We needed Karl-Anthony Towns and every mismatch he took advantage of inside. Every time he would shoot the mid-range inside. Every time he would try to use his IQ level to try to make the right read, make the right pass. Love that pass, by the way, from Karl-Anthony Towns to Mitchell Robinson inside. The Knicks, one of the biggest problems for New York is their spacing. When Towns is double-teamed or Jalen is double-teamed, they can never take full advantage of it because they're not spaced out right. Sometimes you have a couple of players in their own ways. And what does that do? It keeps the Celtics defenders just as close. If Towns has two on him, space out the floor so he can pass it to somebody and we can create other open shots or mismatches. That is the opportunities New York needs to look for more often, and an advantage that New York has not taken, an advantage that New York hasn't really done anything with at this point in time. They can do more with it. And hopefully in game 5, they do that. However, everything else they needed to do, all the other advantages during the game they needed to look for and shut down, they were able to do that. And 2 players that we need to talk about that helped the Knicks get to where we are right now is these 2. Karl-Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges. Now, I obviously just spoke about them at length in terms of their contributions, but we also have to talk about what they actually did during the game for New York, because tonight they were huge. Mikal Bridges, 44 minutes, 11 of 21 from the field, 23 points, 3 assists, 7 rebounds, but again, 1 of 6 from 3, so he can do a little bit better. With Karl-Anthony Towns, he had an amazing night, just an amazing night. 36 minutes, 11 of 15 from the field. He didn't make a 3, but he had 11 rebounds, 1 assist. That 1 assist was to Mitchell Robinson. So amazing. 23 points as well, too. He did pick up 5 fouls during the game, and he was in early foul trouble. He was in early foul trouble. That was a problem. And I will say this, the Knicks being able to go on that run in the 3rd quarter, they would have probably been able to do that in the 2nd quarter if Karl-Anthony Towns didn't get into foul trouble. Foul trouble is hurting New York and their momentum. Because in that 2nd quarter, New York was fighting back because of Karl-Anthony Towns. But when he picked up the extra foul, boom, momentum stopped. And once our momentum stopped, the Celtics took advantage of that and they built back up their lead. So we have to be better as a team to be more aware of what fouls we have and how to play defense when we have that many fouls. Maybe if we're switching, Towns isn't going to be the aggressive defender switching on a player. Maybe that's Mikal Bridges or somebody else, somebody that can take the contact, and if a foul does happen, they can accept it. Unlike Towns, when it does happen to him, he breaks everything when that happens. We don't want to see that. So the Knicks need to do a little bit better with that. But that's really the only thing you can criticize with Karl-Anthony Towns tonight. I thought other than that, even though he didn't have the 3-ball going, he fought. He did everything he needed to do. He played the game that the Celtics allowed him to play. Oh, you're not going to allow me to shoot that many threes? Fine. I'm going to attack, drive, play the mismatch, and use everything in my advantage to make sure I'm impactful. And even though the whistle didn't go his way a lot of times, and the calls didn't go his way a lot of times, some other things that he tried didn't work out well. I still thought he had a strong game in terms of his rebounding, his defense, his ability to play some players one-on-one, but also his ability to respond when things weren't going right. He was efficient, and I still believe he can do better. He can still perform better. He has another level that we haven't seen in the postseason yet. And that should give Knicks fans encouragement, but should give other teams a lot to worry about, because that's something you're going to have to worry about in the future when you actually see it happen. But Towns, big for us. Efficient. Mikal Bridges, huge 4th quarter, very efficient. Mid-range assassin. We don't win this game without any one of these guys' contributions, especially Captain Clutch. Let me go to the chat gang really quickly because we had a message that just went out and it was a super chat, and I definitely got to go to those super chats. So give me a second there. Let me see. 1 second. Going to the super chats. First of all, shout out to the new member in the house. We got a new member in the house. And it's Michael Miles. He's a rising star right now. Shout out to you, my brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for joining the stream. It always means a lot. Let's keep it going here. We got Michael Parker, and he gives us a $10 super chat. Shout out to you, my brother. I appreciate you. He says, I can still remember all the times that the Knicks sustained catastrophic injuries throughout the regular season, to include the playoffs. I don't seem to remember anyone feeling sorry for us. Hey, you're right. And while I can be empathetic and sympathize for the Celtics, it's New York versus everyone. and I'm on that time too. So I absolutely understand what you're talking about, Michael, and I appreciate your comment. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Got my other guy here, another Michael, spelled a little bit differently. Watts with a $20 super chat. My goodness. Shout out to you, my brother. We got representing the United States Marine Corps. Hoorah! Hey, I appreciate you, my brother. Shout out to you. Shout out for everything that you're doing. And thank you for all of the things that you're doing for us, the country, and the support that you guys always need. You showing me support just means so much to me. And I want to make sure that everybody shows you guys support for everything you guys do for this country each and every day. Thank you guys so much. I salute the captain a lot, but I'm going to salute you guys as well, too. Thank you so much for being fans of the show. I will never forget that. That's huge for me, man. That is amazing. Warms my heart, man. I really do mean that. We're going to get back to the chat in a second. It's loading right now. Let me just wait for it to load fast before I jump back to the show. Okay. Okay, here we go here. Just want to make sure we're loading right. Okay, we're good. All right, perfect. First of all, thank you guys so much for the support. You guys have no idea what the community here means to me. I love each and every single one of you. I love the community. I love what we're building here. And hopefully you guys like it too and want to support everything that we have going on. However, going back to the game again, like we talked about, we broke down Karl-Anthony Towns. We broke down Mikal Bridges and what they did. I think without further ado, it's time to break down the team stats and also look at the player minutes and exactly what the bench did and everything like that. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's first go ahead and break down the minutes as well as what the bench contributed and who played what. So Mikal Bridges played 44 minutes. Anunoby played 40 minutes. He gave you 20 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and he was 4 of 8 from 3, 8 of 14 from the field. So he had himself a game as well, too. Liked what Anunoby did to close out the half. And Anunoby, man, Wingstop together tonight really did well. With Karl-Anthony Towns, 36 minutes. With Jalen Brunson, 40 minutes. We broke down exactly what he did already. With Josh Hart, he actually played his fewest minutes tonight. A lot of that had to do with some foul trouble as well that he picked up some early foul calls, but he played 30 minutes, 2 of 7 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and he had 6 points. Off the bench, you had Preston Achiuwa, who played 1 minute, and really that was just the sub-in for Karl-Anthony Towns, just so Mitchell Robinson could rest on the bench, so the New York Knicks could wait under 2 minutes, so that way he can come in and they can do hack-a-Mitch. That's the only reason that Achiuwa was in the game. Then you had Mitchell Robinson play 25 minutes. That's what I'm talking about. I want to see Robinson play that many minutes on a night-to-night basis. That is perfect for Robinson. 25 minutes, 8 rebounds. I think 7 of them were offensive rebounds. Amazing tonight. 2 out of 2 from the field, 4 points, 2 assists. Campaign, 4 minutes. Same old campaign minutes. Deuce McBride, 20 minutes. 6 points, 2 of 3 from 3, and 2 of 4 from the field. That's what he contributed off the bench. So really, Tom Thibodeau, again, 7 players, maybe 7.5 players, if you want to call it like that. But that's all you're seeing in the postseason. And I said it before, that's really all you're going to see. You're not going to see anything else in the postseason from New York, at least from what they're going to run and their rotations. They have made that clear at this point. Give me a second here, guys. I'm just drinking a little bit of water so I keep my voice as active as possible here. One thing I do want to say is I want to mention this. I obviously want to see the rotation expand at times, because there are times when I see the bench out there that I just wonder, maybe what would Landry Shamet do if he was available, open, and out there at the corner. Sometimes I wonder that. I'm not going to lie. But I can't argue with 3-1. I can't argue with results. And honestly, I said it even before the game started. The one change I really want to see is Mitchell Robinson playing 25 plus minutes. Because the more minutes Robinson plays, the more minutes he's out there, our defense looks better. Our rebounding is better, especially second chance opportunities. I mean, he's just a demon on the boards. He battles. He keeps battling with everybody out there, anybody who's down there. It doesn't matter if it's 4 players, 3 players, doesn't matter. He's going to throw himself into the fire, grab that ball, and sometimes even go to the line because they're fouling him. That's what Mitchell Robinson is providing right now. You got to love it. You got to love Mitchell Robinson's impact on the game. And I thought Tom Thibodeau making that adjustment with Deuce McBride and Mitchell Robinson in the fourth quarter, utilizing them a little bit more. First of all, huge adjustment. Both of them are great defenders. They played great defense tonight. That was a good adjustment. Playing Mitch a little bit more. Great adjustment. Allowing Jalen Brunson to rest while Mikal Bridges is cooking and feeding the hot hand. That's another good adjustment. All of that to Tom Thibodeau. Yeah, he didn't do so well in game 3. He got punched in the mouth. But we punched back in game 4. And this time around, we took away the one thing that they destroyed us with in game 3. And if you watch tonight's game, you know what I'm talking about. What did the Knicks take away tonight? What did they have in the first half that they shot at 54% and ended the game around 37%? We're going to break it down right now. Team stats will show you. The 3-point shot. The Boston Celtics tonight shot 37.5% from 3. That's a lot better than 63%. A lot better than 54%. They shot 18 for 48 from the 3-point line. 18 for 48 from the 3-point line. 48% from the field. The Knicks shot 54% from the field. And they were close from 3. 35.3% from 3. From the line, the Knicks and the Celtics, excuse me. From the line, the Knicks and the Celtics, they shot percentage-wise pretty close, but 12 free throws to 26. I never argue about this, but the whistle was terrible. Awful. Awful whistle. Awful whistle. There were so many calls that should have been calls. I've never seen it this bad. So bad. And you don't have to believe me. The free throws tell you that. 12 to 26. You want to know how the free throws tell you that something's a problem? Check out this stat. Check out this stat. Points in the paint. 64 to 32 in favor of New York. We're in there more. Scoring more in the paint. They're in there less. And they have more free throws than we do. How? How? We score 64 points in the paint and we only get 12 free throws? Maybe we got to be more aggressive. Fine. But you're telling me there's not a little bit of a whistle issue here? A small one? Maybe? I'm just saying, man. It doesn't look good. And now, you guys know I was going to say it, right? We're going to break down all of these other stats in just a little bit. But my favorite stat of the night, you guys know it. I know you guys saw it probably first. Fans of the show know exactly what I'm talking about. Bravo. Bravo. 25 team assists. Your captain, Jalen Brunson, nearly had half of them. 12. That right there is some ball movement. Go back and replay what I said, I don't know, last post game, the one before that, the one before that, the one before that. I've said this every single post game. If the Knicks want to beat the Celtics and they want to beat them with a lead larger than 2 points, they need to pass the ball at least 25 times. They pass the ball at least 25 times. They beat the Celtics by 8 points. I'm just saying. We got a super chat from my guy Yuri in the chat. So let's go to Yuri real quick. Yuri, $5 super chat. My guy, thank you so much. He says, prayers up for Jason Tatum. But again, come at the king. You best not miss. We took Boston's best shots and we still standing. JB, our cap. Pound. That one's for you, Yuri, for the captain, and for that super chat. I appreciate you, my guy. Thank you so much for the support and also for being one of the best moderators of the channel. I see you and I appreciate you. But like I said, when you pass the ball like that, you're going to have good things happen. The Knicks created good things by passing the ball extremely well. Credit to them. Just amazing. I have no bad things to say. None. It was amazing ball movement. And that's one area I always criticize them in. I can't do that. Another area is rebounding. Knicks out-rebounded the Celtics 43-31. Credit to Mitchell Robinson for a lot of that. Credit to Karl-Anthony Towns as well, too. In regards to the turnover battle, it was even, 12 apiece. And it was pretty low as well, too. So I don't mind that at all. Largest lead for the Knicks was 12. Largest lead for the Celtics was 14. This was the most even game of the series. What I mean by that is it was a game of runs. The Celtics went on a run. The Knicks went on a run. The Celtics went on a run. The Knicks went on a run. It felt like a normal basketball game in terms of that. One team dominated over the other during a couple of stretches. Although I will say that the Boston Celtics did dominate the Knicks a little bit longer there for a stretch. But doesn't really matter how long you dominate. It matters about the end result. And the end result right now for New York is 3-1. New York leads this series, going to Boston for game 5 on the road, where we have not lost in the postseason. The Knicks, I believe, are the best postseason team on the road right now. And we get to defend that title and get a chance to win this series in 5 against the Boston Celtics in game 5 on Wednesday. And we have no idea if they're going to have Jason Tatum or not. And even if they do have Tatum, if he'll be 100% or not. And we saw tonight how important Jason Tatum is to that Boston Celtics team. I'm not saying they can't win without him. I'm not saying that. They're talented enough and they have a deep enough roster that they can win without Jason Tatum. So the Knicks still have to be locked in and focused. It's not a give me either way, whether he plays or he doesn't play. However, we are in a position of power right now. We own a commanding lead over the reigning defending champions of 3-1. We used home court to our advantage, and now we are up 3-1. We defeated the Boston Celtics in game 4. Don't lose it now. Now, it's time to go on the road, beat the Boston Celtics, silence that crowd, go to the Eastern Conference Finals, and show and tell everybody that the Knicks are here. We're real contenders. Forget everything you thought you knew, because the Knicks have just changed everything. And I don't care if you didn't believe. I'm glad you didn't believe. But now that the Knicks are winning, don't start to believe now and try to run on this side and say, we up, we here, we've always been here. No, 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 no. Some of us have always been here. Some of us have rode with this team, good, bad, or indifferent. Some of us had the faith when others didn't. So when we say we, all of us know who's included in that we and who's not included in that we. You bandwagon Knicks fans can stay all the way over there because a couple of weeks ago, you were hating. And I don't like that flip-flopping energy. So stay over there. My real ones, you guys know who you are. My dogs, where you at? The Knicks are here. The Knicks are changing everything about the playoffs. And the Knicks are showing everyone that why you have to believe even when everything and everyone is telling you not to believe, because all you need is an opportunity. And if you have that, you can make magic happen. You know what magic looks like? 3-1 on the Boston Celtics after a superstar performance from our captain, Jalen Brunson. That is playoff basketball and one of my favorite games of the postseason, and also the biggest game and biggest win at MSG in decades. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Before we go to the roundup, which for anybody who doesn't know, the roundup show that we do at the end of live streams is a show where we break down a couple of topics from around the league that we don't get to talk about on a day-to-day basis. If you guys want to contribute to that show, you have any topics that you want me to talk about, just put them in the chat and I'll be happy to go over any one of them for you before I get to the roundup or even during the roundup as well too. So let's go to the chat, gang, see what you guys have to do. But that is the end of the post-game show. If you were wondering if there is any other coverage, there isn't for the post-game, but we're going to be talking about a couple of different topics if you're interested on the roundup tonight. The topics that I have on my list, and this could change, so don't quote me on this, and I don't want to go for too long more, maybe another 30 minutes. It's going to be Giannis Antetokounmpo because the news came out about him and all of those stories, so I got to cover that really quick. Mitchell Robinson potentially starting because there's some news about that. And also him clapping back at fans. If I can get to that, I'll try to get to that too. And also the Knicks defensive improvements. And I guess the Jason Tatum injury, if I have an update on it. But I really want to focus on Giannis and the Mitchell Robinson starting, maybe going to Jason Tatum afterwards. So you guys let me know if you want me to jump to anything else. But yeah, let's go into it. Did I miss a super chat? I feel like I did. I think I did. There's one day that I missed. Yeah, there we go. Edgar. There we go. Want to make sure I catch all my super chats. Edward, my guy Edward, $9.99 super chat. My guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you. How do we look against the Pacers? Break it down. Revenge. I like that. Listen, Edward, I appreciate your support and I appreciate your question and I appreciate the love and support. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to answer this the best way I can. I can give you that breakdown if you really want it. Here's why I'm not going to give you the breakdown. Here's why I'm not going to do it. Job done? Business finish? Business not finish. I don't want to give anybody that breakdown until I have a reason to give that breakdown. And in one more game, I'll have a reason to give that breakdown. My guy, Vincent, my goodness. Shout out to you, brother. Don't matter how we struggle against them. This is the playoffs. Winning is winning. Let's go, Knicks. Shout out to Troy. Let's go. Shout out to you for the super chat, my brother. Thank you. Thank you so much for the support and everything that you give to this channel. I really do appreciate that. Shout out to you for watching and wherever you're getting this Knicks content from. I really do appreciate that. And for everybody who makes the Knicks recap your home for Knicks content daily, you guys know who you are. You're the real ones. I appreciate you. Thank you. Dovin, my guy, he says, hey, Troy, I'm getting ahead of myself. I have a theory. Dallas won both drafts. Last year, WNBA Finals, Liberty beat the Lynx in 5. Does that mean the NBA Finals will beat the Wolves, Knicks in 5? I don't think it goes that deep, though. I don't think. But I love to see Knicks versus Wolves, but I think they're unrelated. I don't think anything like that. Yuri says, okay, Troy, you got a red cup with the Ciroc? I don't have the Ciroc with me. Only reason why I don't have the red cup with me, Yuri, is because I was too excited about what was happening here. And if I drank that, it would have been an upper with all the energy and the downer. It wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked. So I had to wait. And I'm gonna probably have a drink after the roundup. So I'm looking to finish this soon so I can get that drink. Jonathan says, Boston shot 15 free throws in the first half before the Knicks shot 1 right before the second half. Whistle was terrible. It was awful. It was awful. Not even that. I told you, I think I showed you guys the whole stat, right? Look at the full stats. We have 64 paint points. How have we only shot 12 free throws to their 26? We were in the paint for 64 points. How do we only get to the line 12 times? That doesn't make any sense to me at all. Paul says, no drinking on the job. If that's the case, I broke that rule a long, long time ago. Long time ago. Carl Knight says, the second half for the Knicks was dang perfect. It was pretty perfect. The only thing I will say from it is, first of all, third quarter was great. Fourth quarter was good. I don't like the amount of open threes still. I felt like there was a lot of that. They were missing a lot of them. But the night and day difference from the three-point defense that we were seeing in the first half to the second half, I mean, yeah, there's a big drop-off. We saw the difference. I mean, it was pretty easy to see. When you see what they're shooting in the first half compared to the second half, even the numbers represent what the Knicks were doing. And also the fact that some of their shots just weren't going in. And that represents what's been happening to them the entire series, if you're being honest. My guy, the real Django, this team was in the effing zone. They were. Not really to start off the game for me. We were down 11, still down 11 to go into the half. But the third quarter, that's where the Knicks woke up. They were awake. Or at least after that Jaylen Brown early layup or easy layup. That was really where it is. My guy, Harris. Oh, my. All right. Well, I'm going to have to pause everything and put that on the screen because that's, yeah, man, that's ridiculous. Wow. All right. Well, I'm pretty much at a loss for words right now. Harris, Poppy, I believe, right? That's what I think it was one of your handles, I believe. But I'll call you Harris, is what it says on the super chat. Everybody in the chat right now, if you guys could give some hearts, some claps, whatever you can for this individual. This is amazing. And I really, really appreciate that. He didn't even give a comment. He says, wouldn't let me do 100 even. Sorry. You're sorry because you couldn't do 100? Harris, my guy, thank you so much for your generosity, for the super chat, for your support for this channel. I see your comments on every video, whether we agree, disagree, whatever. You're there, you comment, and clearly you love the Knicks, you love the show, and you support. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. I appreciate your support, and you're part of this community. And the reason why I wake up every day happy to be a Knicks fan and happy I get to do this every day. This is what it's about. You guys are amazing. This is incredible. You never have to do this, by the way. Nobody has to do this. The fact that it happens is amazing, and I'm always going to be thankful for it. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Really, really, thank you so much. Let's go back really quickly. I was supposed to go to the roundup supposed to go to the roundup maybe a couple of minutes ago, but the generosity kind of has me taken back a little bit. I apologize if I'm not on the game like I normally am. I apologize. Let's see here. Harris says, "You are awesome, my bro." Thank you. I appreciate you, my dog. You're awesome as well, too. Awesome for the community and for the fan base. Thank you, my guy. Guru says, "Troy, what's good, my guy? What's good? Knicks 3-1. That's what's good, my guy." Ryan Field says, "We need you, bruh." Hey, my guy, Ryan. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. Your support, it really does mean a lot. I see you in the comments as well, too, man. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. David says, "Also, Harris, you dog. That's awesome." I know, but love the content and your perspective. I appreciate that, man. I really do. Thank you. Paul M says, "Control the paint, number 1. Rebound, number 2. Assist." That's really what it is. Can I add a 4 right there? Protect the three-point line. You protect the three-point line, good things are going to happen. The Celtics shot 37%. You allow them to shoot around that, you're always going to give yourself the best chance to win. So shout out to the Knicks for doing great defense right there. I mean, it was amazing. Capital One says, "Great win. Salute, Troy. Salute to you, my guy. I appreciate you." My guy Guru says, "Troy, best Knicks podcast ever." Hey, I appreciate that. But I think I got to run for my money with a couple of these other great content creators. But I will take the I will take the compliment happily. But we all know there's a ton of great creators. I support them and I respect them as well, too. Hopefully you guys do as well. Manny says, "If the Knicks played the way they did in the second half, we should win the NBA championship." Anybody disagree with Manny? Anybody disagree? Because I think the second half, if they play that for 48 minutes, I think it's going to be very difficult to beat this Knicks team 7 games. They're too good. Too many weapons. David says, "Even though the Celtics bench had more points than the Knicks bench by a total of 19-10, I felt like the Knicks bench was better than the Celtics bench, mainly Mitch and Deuce." The reason you feel that way is really because of Harris. Took me off of my train of thought. Harris, you got to stop, bro. You're oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. I'm thankful for it. My goodness, man. Thank you. $49.99 super chat from Harris. After the $99.99 super chat from Harris. I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for the support, and thank you so much for the super chats. It really does mean a lot. Thank you for your continued support, my guy. Though, what you were saying, though, Mitch and Deuce, the reason it looks like that is because of the defense. The Celtics defense from the bench, you're getting scoring. You're not getting the other impact. You are getting the defense from Miles McBride and from Mitchell Robinson. Though I will say, I do wish that Deuce McBride's offense was a little bit more apparent. It's not, his defense is great. His offense is not where it needs to be. He shoots and he can make shots. He needs to shoot a little bit more. I said it before the other game. Give him 10 shots a game with that defense. If he makes 7 of them, the Knicks are blowing out the Celtics most likely. That's how good he can be. Allow him to get those shots up. I think it would be great for New York to do that. Harris says, "You're welcome. I appreciate that." Corey Lindsay says, "Troy, salute. What up, my brother? What a beautiful win. Love you, bro. Always have faith. Always. You gotta believe. You gotta believe. Never turn your back on any given night. Any other team can beat another team. It doesn't matter about anything else. And by the way, in case you were wondering, in the postseason where the games matter the most, the Knicks are 3-1 on one of the best teams in the NBA. The regular season does not matter. It does not matter at all. The Knicks never even beat the Celtics in this way in the regular season. That shows you it does not matter. Justo says, any update on JT? Might be an Achilles. Looked like it. It did look like the Achilles. I didn't want to say it out loud, though. I don't want to wish that man anything bad, you know? I just didn't want to do that. Let's look and see. I'm going to look for you and see if there's any update on Jason. I don't know. Let's see here. Well, there's a lot of highlights about Ant-Man right now. I'm scrolling past a lot of stuff here. Where is anything about Tatum? I'm looking for stuff about Tatum. I know there was an update at some point. I just can't remember what the update was on Tatum. I think they said they need to get MRIs on it, if I'm not mistaken. But don't quote me because I don't want to. Yeah, there we go. Shout out to Tim Bontemps of ESPN for giving us this information here. So as I see it here, Joe Mazzulla said that Jason Tatum will get an MRI tomorrow, but otherwise didn't have an update on his status. So it sounds like he's going to be a game time decision. It's a closeout game for Boston on Wednesday. I assume that unless it's season ending, he's going to go. But that then goes to how much is he going to be Jason Tatum? Is he going to be the same Tatum that we saw tonight, battle Jalen Brunson, be able to put up these numbers? Or are we going to see a different Jason Tatum that's not able to do the same thing? I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now. So that's what I'm seeing here. And yeah, that's where we are. Let's see. Diabolical Max says, I don't think he's going to play game 4. It looks bad. You mean game 5? Yeah, I don't think he's going to play game 5. He might not. It did look pretty bad. Corey Lindsay said, Troy, 4-1. What a challenge series for the Knicks, for real. We're going to get there, but I don't want to rush. I don't want to rush. Do not count your chickens or your eggs, excuse me. Do not count your eggs before they hatch, okay? Don't count them yet. Let's wait. Let's get to 4-1. Let's actually take game 5 and celebrate it. And then I'll be right there with you. But for right now, got to be a little bit patient. Supreme says, bro is in a wheelchair. I don't see a game time decision coming. Listen, I understand that. But we've seen other players go in a wheelchair and then come back and be able to play afterwards. So I think the wheelchair was more precautionary just so that he doesn't put any weight on it, because clearly he couldn't be lifted up on anything. So I think the wheelchair was just for that, not because it was so severe. I don't know what his status is going to be. It looked bad. He is probably not going to play if it's season ending. But if it's not season ending, I can see him playing. Let's see here. Nicole Curry says he tore something. He was in too much pain to play in 2 or 3 games. I don't know. I don't want to call it like that. Again, I don't know the status of Tatum. Let's wait for the MRIs and see what happens. I don't want to wish any injury on Jason Tatum. I do wish him the best. And like I said, as a competitor, you know, anybody who is a competitor, you don't want to see anybody go down like that, especially after the series we're watching right now, after the game we just saw. So, and I don't want anybody to say that Knicks were just gifted this game and gifted this series because Tatum went down. I don't want this to be tainted in any way. You know what I mean? So I really hope he's able to go, because I don't need to hear that. If he's injured and plays, well, you know what? The Knicks have people who are injured and they're playing. So it's about even. But if he doesn't play, it's going to hold a cloud over this series. Well, you know, if JT played, you guys, all right, well, you know, let's relax there for a second. But that's what the conversation would be. All right. Just because I don't want to go too long, I'm going to take one more comment and then we're going to go to the roundup for today. Let's see here. Who didn't get a chance yet that I didn't call? Carl Knight, my guy. Jalen Brunson be saving my life every game. I mean, he's saving a lot of people's lives, man. I mean, when you put up the numbers he's been putting up, I mean, 39, 5, and 12. Those are superstar numbers. When you put up superstar numbers, you're going to get that superstar level treatment. But I do understand what you're talking about. This Knicks team, man, they give you a roller coaster on your life. I mean, you feel like sometimes you're at the top of the world. You're at the bottom of the world. You're up all the way. You're down all the way. It is a ride watching these games. Sometimes you're yelling because you're angry. Sometimes you're screaming because you're happy. And sometimes you don't even understand what's going on and you're screaming because of that. It's everything in between when it comes to this Knicks team and the fans and everything that we're watching and trying to support. But thankfully, we're coming out of game 4 with a victory, and the series is now 3-1. Knicks leading, heading back to Boston for game 5 on Wednesday. That's going to be a very good game, a very important game for Boston and New York. And whether you want to say it or not, it's a must-win for New York and for Boston. Boston, because their season is on the line, but for New York to make a statement and a point as well, too. We don't need to be at home to beat you. We can be on the road, even in a closeout, and dominate. And that's where we are right now. So going to the roundup for today, which hopefully doesn't take too long. The news that really broke everything today, I didn't get a chance to talk about it. I wanted to talk about it, but I've been avoiding really trades and all of these things for most of the postseason. I've kind of avoided all of it just because I didn't want to talk about all of that when we're in the midst of this postseason run. I didn't want to do it. It really didn't make any sense to me at all. However, this Giannis situation has been pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And there's been a number of reports that have come out about it. Some of them have been significant, but to me, it's not really been enough to warrant me not doing a video on it, right? At least until now. Now there's a little bit more of a story behind it. There's a lot of updates behind it. So we really have to break down this Giannis situation a little bit better. So for anybody who's living under a rock who doesn't know, when the Milwaukee Bucks were eliminated from the postseason when the Milwaukee Bucks were eliminated from the postseason by the Indiana Pacers, after their series ended and their season ended in the process, after that, Shams reported that likely during the offseason, Giannis would be thinking about his future in Milwaukee, would be thinking about what he wants to do, what things are going to happen, what things he wants to do, what things he wants to have in his career, what things are going to happen in Milwaukee. If that's going to be a place he'll call his future home, or is he going to go elsewhere? Is he going to look elsewhere? Is he going to join another team? What sparked even more controversy and debate on this is that Giannis was spotted in New York City soon after, really, the Bucks were eliminated. And that sparked all of these reports coming out indicating potentially that Giannis was telling everybody in the NBA world that he wants to be in New York. He wants to join a team in New York. Now, whether that means that or not, we're not going to know that really until the offseason. But we understood what that entire thing meant. If Giannis leaves the Milwaukee Bucks, one of the teams that are likely going to be on his list to join, and likely a team that's going to be interested in trading for him, will be the New York Knicks. And at least according to these latest reports that we have from SNY's Ian Bagley, it does look that even though the Knicks are in the postseason right now, we are a win away from the Eastern Conference Finals. There are some that are looking at that Giannis situation, and even they are stating, if he's available, New York would be foolish not to look at it, see what's happening there, and see potentially what it would cost to get him on this team. And the main reason that they're indicating the Knicks would do this is because of their roster construction. Let's go ahead and break down some of these reports. Let me pull it up really quickly so I have that information for you guys. Shout out to Ian Bagley for giving us this following information. Some of this information also comes from Shams Charania of ESPN, so I want to break that down as well too. NBA superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo could be looking for a new city to call home this offseason. Could that mean we could see the Greek Freak in New York? According to ESPN Shams Charania, Antetokounmpo, for the first time, is open-minded about whether his best fit is remaining in Milwaukee or playing elsewhere, clearly indicating that potentially his future is not tied to Milwaukee as we all thought before. He could move to a different franchise if that franchise gives him a better chance to win a title, because that's on his mind. That's what he wants. Let's keep going here. After trading for Karl-Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges and re-signing OG Anunoby, SNY continues here by stating, the Knicks on paper don't look like a team that could trade for Antetokounmpo, but league sources familiar with the dynamic say it would be foolish to count the Knicks out because of their roster construction, at least according to SNY's Ian Bagley. The Knicks' focus at the moment is far from Antetokounmpo. They're going to play the Boston Celtics in Game 5, and they currently hold a playoff series lead of 3-1. While Antetokounmpo led the Bucks to an NBA title in 2020-2021, the Bucks have been bounced in the first round of the playoffs in each of the last 3 years. And according to Shams, Antetokounmpo and his representatives will meet with the Bucks front office at some point this offseason to discuss his future with the club. He is currently on his second Supermax contract with Milwaukee and is under contract through 2026-2027 with a $62.8 million player option for the 2027-2028 year. The Nets, it should be noted, have a bevy of assets to offer in a trade for Antetokounmpo or another star. Brooklyn owns 4 first-round picks in the 2025 NBA draft and has 13 tradable first-round picks in the next 7 drafts. And according to Evan Cedardy, Giannis Antetokounmpo wants to play alongside another top player. Giannis Antetokounmpo wants to play alongside another top star player who would take some burden off of him. Giannis and his representatives, again, are looking into potential destinations as he looks at his immediate future with the Milwaukee Bucks or another destination. And those are the updates that we have right now regarding Giannis, his future with the Milwaukee Bucks, and potentially the New York Knicks going after him, targeting him, and potentially trading for him. Like we just mentioned, the Knicks, we're focused on Boston. We're focused on Boston. We're focused on closing out this series. That's where the intentions are right now. They're not thinking about anything else. But as we just heard, a league source told NBA insider Ian Bagley, it's foolish to count them out, given their roster construction and everything they did in the offseason to build the roster that we've seen right now. But given the amount that Antetokounmpo makes and the fact that he's going to command a very large asking price, I don't know how the Knicks have any assets available at this point in time to get Giannis on this team. Now, I will say, if the Knicks are going to blow up this team, or if they're going to make a significant trade and there's no way to talk them out of it, the one player you go after is Giannis. Absolutely, I will agree with that. But as of right now, being 3-1 on the Boston Celtics, being where we are in the postseason right now, where our focus is, I get it. Giannis to New York sounds nice. Yes, he was spotted in New York. And of course, if New York could make Milwaukee accept whatever we could offer to get Giannis on this team, and we could create whatever that super team would be, it would be phenomenal. I would love it. Knicks fans would love it. It would be incredible. But it's unlikely that is not going to happen. He's too expensive. He makes too much money. The Knicks do not have the assets at this point in time. And there are a number of other teams, a number of other players, and a number of other trade packages out there that other teams are going to include to try to get Giannis on their team, including New York. And I can think about 10 teams right now that would have a better package than the Knicks in order to offer to the Bucks to get Giannis, and probably teams that Giannis would want to go to in the first place. Now, am I saying he doesn't want to come to New York? That all the reports that are coming out that he has a desire to play in a big market like New York is false? I'm not saying that. I believe it. I believe the Vegas odds. I believe that the Knicks have interest in Giannis. I believe Giannis has interest in New York and to some level, the Knicks. But I also believe in math. And I also know what I know now. As of right now, the focus for New York is the postseason, not Giannis. That's the first thing. When our focus can be Giannis, the package that we can give in order to get Giannis on this team will not be enough to beat out other teams that can put together similar, better packages with likely better players to get Giannis a part of their teams. And that's always what's going to be about. That is always what it's going to be about. It's not going to be about anything else besides your trade package, this team's trade package, and the best available deal on the table, especially when it comes to trading a player like Giannis. Would it sound, is it great? If it happened, would it be amazing? Does it sound great? Of course, but it's not realistic in my opinion, just because of the fact the Knicks really don't have the assets to pull it off. And given how they look right now, given where they are right now, especially if they beat the Boston Celtics and close them out, they're not making any trades like that this offseason. Right now, the Knicks are sending a message to the league that this team is enough to win a championship. If they continue to send that message, they're not going to make those big superstar trades. They're going to probably make some lower level trades to help continue to improve this team. So I don't think that's going to happen. And if they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, they are absolutely not making any major trades. Why would you do that with the team that got you further than basically any team has gotten you in I don't even know how many years? That's what we're talking about right now. That's what's on the line. So I understand what the reporting is saying. I understand why the reports are coming out about Giannis going to the Knicks. I understand what Vegas is saying, him being spotted in New York, what Bagley stated here regarding what league sources are saying about the Knicks and their interest. Giannis is a generational player, great player. He will change a franchise no matter where he goes. That is absolute. But right now, the Knicks are already changing the franchise. We're changing everything as we know it. We're changing the offseason as we know it. We're changing the postseason as we know it. We're changing everything that they thought we couldn't do. So I can understand why some people are going to continue to say Giannis needs to join the Knicks. We need to trade for Giannis. We need to get that player. And some of you guys are watching this video right now, and I appreciate that. And in the offseason, depending on what happens during the postseason, we can talk about if the Knicks are going to go after Giannis or what team has the best chance to go after Giannis. But as of right now, and this is the other side of the comment section below, they don't care about that. They don't care about Giannis. They don't care about any trades the Knicks could or could not make in the offseason. They care about beating Boston, going to the Eastern Conference Finals, and potentially getting revenge, and then going all the way to the NBA Finals. And with you guys, I absolutely understand where you're coming from. But Giannis has been in the news today, yesterday, the day before that. And I have been getting, I don't even know, 10, 20 messages almost every other day combined about doing a video on Giannis. So I thought I would just go out and speak regarding Giannis, his status, his availability, if the Knicks are going to trade for him, if they would trade for him, what the status is, if the Knicks are going to go after him or anything like that. And it's good to kind of talk about it and to clear the air as well, too. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything when I was speaking about that. If I just want to go to another point here. As far as the reporting indicates here, Giannis Antetokounmpo wants to go to a place where he can win, where he can win another championship. So I know he wants to come to New York, but when people start telling me, well, the Brooklyn Nets have these picks, the Brooklyn Nets have that pick and this pick, you think he would leave the Milwaukee Bucks to go to Brooklyn? He loves New York, but not winning? That doesn't make sense. So I understand that Brooklyn says, we have all of these things. We can get you. Yeah, I'm sure you could get him if he wanted to go there, if the interest was mutual. I assure you it's not. Why would he want to go to Brooklyn when he's in the Milwaukee Bucks right now and they're getting bounced in the first round? He can't win a championship. The Brooklyn Nets are not even in the postseason. What are you talking about? If he wants to come to New York, there's only one team he's looking at in New York, and that's the Knicks. You know who else supports that? Vegas. You know who else supports that? League insiders. You know who else supports that? All of the reports that have come out recently. So I can understand what the Knicks want to do and their attempts and what they're going to try to go after, the stars they're going to try to get. But Giannis Antetokounmpo, you're not getting him. You're not landing Giannis. But the good news, if you're a Nets fan, I don't know why you're watching this stream if you are, though. For Net fans, I don't think he's coming to New York because I don't think either team is going to be able to get him. Brooklyn is not going to be able to get him because he doesn't want to go to Brooklyn and lose. The Knicks can't get him because even though he probably wants to come to New York, he wants to come and join the Knicks, we can't afford him on this team. With all of those factors working against the Knicks, it's unlikely that this offseason they trade for Giannis. But I'm never going to count out Leon Rose. He has made magic happen before, and he can always make magic happen again. But it's really going to depend on the Knicks, their postseason run, and what they do in the playoffs that determine all the trades and all the moves that happen during this offseason. But as of right now, the way the Knicks look and where they're headed, don't expect any major trades to happen this offseason. In fact, I would expect maybe lower level additions, either via I would expect lower level additions, either via free agency or via trade. That's really it. I wouldn't expect something else to happen within that. Only reason why is because if this Knicks team gets to where I think they're going to get to, if they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, they may have a lot of belief that this team could do it again in the next year after building even more chemistry and adding the right key pieces off the bench that we need to help our starters and also help stabilize the offense and defense when we need to. So all of those things, extremely important. But that's the Giannis information and the Giannis situation as it goes right now in terms of his status with Milwaukee, where the Knicks stand in it, where the Knicks stand on it, if they would trade for him or not, and if they are even capable of trading for him at this point in time and where their focus is. If you were wondering about any of those things, hopefully all of those questions were answered with the updates that I just provided about Giannis. This will also be clipped as well and be put out there on the YouTube channel as a separate video. So if you missed the full take on the live, don't worry. It will be part of the video selection at some point in time moving forward. So I hope you guys like that part there with regards to Giannis. Let me just make sure that there's nothing else for Giannis that I have that I want to talk about. I think I mentioned everything about him. I did say already that if the Knicks were going to trade for a superstar again and they needed to, and there was no talking them out of it, that Giannis Antetokounmpo would be the player I would want the Knicks to target and go after. However, if they can be persuaded not to make a move, I would rather them do that, especially as of right now. Let's lock in with who we have, wait and see what happens, and then evaluate after the fact, after everything is done, what this team really truly needs. Is it more role players or a superstar? That's going to be very important, and that's really going to signify and indicate what the Knicks do during this offseason, what players they go after, and what additions that they make to this team. So that's going to be that for right there. Shout out to Harris as well, too, for another $20 super chat. I'm just going to show it on screen because the guy is just amazing. Shout out to Harris, 1999 super chat again. Always showing love, always giving support. That is what I'm talking about. I appreciate that, my guy. He also gives a comment saying, we need a strong best because of all the, excuse me, I'm thinking he's saying big. We need a strong big because of the injuries. I agree with you. We probably do, I agree with you. We probably do need a strong big. We have a big now, a couple of bigs that we like, and maybe we'll get some more in the offseason. We're going to have to wait and see once the Knicks evaluate the team and we understand what happens at that point. But I appreciate the comment. So here we are. I wanted to do 3 more topics. Well, 2 more topics, but that Giannis one took me a little bit longer than I liked. So instead, I'm just going to go to the next topic I have, which is going to be Mitchell Robinson. Should I do the bench as well too? No, I might be able to do the bench from that episode. Yeah, I'll figure it out. And we don't have an update on Jason Tatum yet as well too, because he's getting MRIs. Okay. All right. So we're going to end this one talking about Mitchell Robinson. So let me just pull up the quote that I have here. Where is it? There we go. Okay. We all saw tonight with Mitchell Robinson, his impact defensively, on the boards, what he means for this team. It's just amazing. He's playing on a different level, on a huge level that nobody can deny. And every time you see him on the floor, it's hard to ignore what he does or his impact. And it always leaves me to say, I wish Mitchell Robinson was playing more minutes for this team, especially during the series when the Celtics are known to run their own double big lineup. So the Knicks need to respond by running their double big with Karl-Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson. And Mitchell Robinson on the boards, he fights. He is always so aggressive. He is always attacking and battling. You love to see that. Those second chance opportunities always help. They always come up big. He is a paint presence as well, too. When he is inside the paint, he puts that fear in the opposing players, makes them alter or change their shot, and that helps the Knicks as well, too. Everything that he does when he's out there is extremely helpful. And you can notice it because when he's off the floor, those same things, they're not there. And the Celtics, they take advantage of it. And we always get to see Mitchell Robinson on the bench. And it's just not something that works, at least for me. Right now, we see at times when Robinson's in the game, how good he is, how impactful he is, what he means to this team on both ends of the floor. And one thing that I got to mention, the lob threat that he is, Karl-Anthony Towns finds him in game 4 for an elite pass inside. Jalen Brunson, another lob to Mitchell Robinson. And if both of our stars in Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson can mix in more passes to Mitchell Robinson with their already good offense, it's going to make the Celtics second guess each and every time and make them even harder to guard, make them even better for New York, and give the Knicks another threat that Boston has to worry about. And I'm talking about Mitchell Robinson. Hopefully, they utilize that lob threat a little bit more because I think it'll always help the Knicks if they're able to use it, explore it, and play it against certain teams. Because sometimes if they use it the right way, it's unstoppable and no one knows how to do anything with it or really even how to stop it. So hopefully the Knicks go to that a couple more times throughout this series and really throughout the postseason. But with Mitchell Robinson, playing more minutes is one thing. I'm glad he did that during Game 4, and I want him to continue to play 25-plus minutes for the rest of this series and hopefully for the postseason. The more minutes he plays, the better this Knicks team looks. That is without a doubt. But there may be another change coming as well, too. And that change was spoken about before Game 4 with head coach Tom Thibodeau. Let me read you exactly what Tom Thibodeau had to say about Mitchell Robinson, his impact, and also potentially this change he could be making to the starting lineup. Shout out to Steph Bondy from the New York Post for giving us this following information here. According to Bondy, in a follow-up to a question of whether Tom Thibodeau might start Mitchell Robinson to avoid Hack-a-Mitch, the coach was asked whether the starters will be changed tonight. Could be, is what Tom Thibodeau said. We should also note he answered the question the same way every time. James L. Edwards of The Athletic also gave some more information on this, and he said, Thibs said the following about Mitchell Robinson starting. Thibs on Robinson starting. There's a lot of thoughts you put into it. He also said there are pluses with it. But then, when asked again, are you going with the same starters? We could be, is the answer that we get from Tom Thibodeau. Now, I don't really, well, I do at times do that, so I won't say that. So obviously, we just heard what Tom Thibodeau said regarding Mitchell Robinson, him starting, and him honestly saying he sees pluses with Robinson out there. Mitchell Robinson starting against certain teams, in my opinion, makes a lot of sense. And here's why. Hack-a-Mitch is the one thing that the Boston Celtics love to do. So give them the opportunity. I would start Mitchell Robinson right alongside Karl-Anthony Towns. And if they're not going to foul Mitchell Robinson, then I'm going to abuse that double big lineup and utilize the advantages that it gives me. And not only when I do that will it help New York, but if the Knicks start Mitchell Robinson, they're going to have to put Josh Hart on the bench. And Josh Hart on the bench is going to help the Knicks bench immensely, likely with scoring, playmaking, and more rebounding. Exactly what the Knicks bench needs. So in this scenario, the starters benefit and the bench benefits. But what happens if they do go to Hack-a-Mitch early? That's fine. Get him into the bonus early and then swap out Mitchell Robinson for Josh Hart or whoever else you want to swap him out for. And then play that lineup until it's under 2 minutes. Boom. Boom. Swap back out Mitchell Robinson for whoever you put him in for. Swap back out Mitchell Robinson for whoever you put him in the game for. And then there you go. You have your blockness monster back. He can go back out there, play the defense, get the rebounds, get the block shots, do all the things you need him to do when he is out there. But those are the advantages of starting Mitchell Robinson, keeping Josh Hart on the bench, and also getting the Celtics in early foul trouble and potentially utilizing that to go to the line more. If they're not going to call the whistle for New York, they're refusing to do it, then fine. Let them call the whistle because the Celtics are forcing them to call the whistle. And then afterwards, let the Knicks force them to call the whistle again. And then we have to go to the line because they're in the penalty. These are some of the changes I want to see the Knicks make. And if Tom Thibodeau is thinking that there are pluses to starting Mitchell Robinson, and it's something that he had a lot of thought about, you never know. This series, next series, one of these games, potentially, we could see a changing of the starting lineup where it's Mitchell Robinson starting right alongside Karl-Anthony Towns, and it's Josh Hart going to the bench. And if that change happens, depending on who we're facing, the starting lineup improves, the bench unit improves, and the closing lineup really doesn't change unless Tom Thibodeau forces it to change. Josh Hart off the bench or starting, likely always going to close if he can. And if he can't, or he's in foul trouble or whatever, then we can see it. Tom Thibodeau will go to Mitchell Robinson, or he'll go to Deuce McBride, or both of them to close out the fourth quarter. He has a number of options because of the way the Knicks play defense, especially Mitchell Robinson and what he means to this team. I'm not saying to start him all the time, not saying to start him in every single series. If you have an advantage, if it makes sense, if you can hurt Boston in the process or hurt whoever you're playing against in the process, why not make the move? Why not do it? It's only going to help you. It's only going to help you win the game, maybe even easier because they're in the bonus so fast. And help your bench because you have a playmaker like Josh Hart off the bench, somebody who will find other people in transition, including Deuce McBride, Cam Payne, Mitchell Robinson, whoever he's on the floor with, whoever he's playing with. It's important. And maybe that's something that we need to get taken care of in the future if something is not working. Or maybe it's a change the Knicks make extremely fast if they're getting beaten inside, beaten on the boards, or the defense is not there to start. You make that change early, you can affect that and get him into the bonus early as well too. I am a fan of either starting Mitch or getting him in the game early, getting the Celtics into foul trouble early, and then taking him out of the game until after the 2-minute mark. It makes sense on every single level. It takes advantage of the Celtics, take advantage of exactly what they're trying to run or what they're trying to do, and might swing momentum back in our favor, especially if we're down in games. And if we're going to start off the games down, it might help us stay in the game, take the lead, and actually lead the game in the first half versus being down in the first half. Robinson has already proven, not even only during this series, for the entire postseason, he is a threat, he is a game changer, and he makes a difference for New York in so many ways. Starting him would only amplify that. And against the Celtics, I am starting Mitchell Robinson. Although I'll understand why the Knicks won't do it. I'll understand why the Knicks don't change anything. 3-1. Why would you change anything if you're up 3-1? You really wouldn't. You likely are going to do the exact same things and make adjustments based on what the game is telling you, at least according to Tom Thibodeau. So I expect that happening more than I expect a starting lineup change. However, the fact that Thibodeau is thinking about it, he looked at it, he liked the minutes that Mitchell Robinson's playing, he says he's a plus. It's not above the imagination to think he could make a change to the starting lineup, and that change could be Mitchell Robinson in, Josh Hart on the bench. It could happen. It might happen in the future, but the fact that we're winning right now, we're up 3-1 on the reigning defending NBA champions. I don't think that change is going to happen unless something forces Tom Thibodeau to make that change. Though, one change Thibs did make, and I hope he continues to make, and maybe even do a little bit more of, is play Mitchell Robinson earlier, play him longer, and allow him to be on that floor more for New York. Because every single time that he is, the Knicks just benefit as a team. We are a better team. And Robinson is one of the key reasons, because of his defense, because of his rebounding, and because of the fear that he puts into opposing penetrators, because of the fact he blocks shots with the best of them. Not only is he a great offensive rebounder, but he's a great shot blocker as well too. And his switching at times, even though it leaves a lot to be desired, he's still a big body in front of you. And it is hard to shoot over that man at times, especially when you don't know what he's going to do. Stay down, go up, or maybe even go back and then jump, causing you to really not understand what move you're going to have. So Couple of things to look at there, couple of things to understand. But Mitchell Robinson right now, during this series, during the postseason for New York, great, impactful, amazing defense, amazing on the boards, great in terms of being a lob threat, great in terms of rolling and having the defense believe that you're actually rolling as well too. So that way they throw a defender at him and it's still not enough. Mitchell Robinson deserves a lot of praise. He deserves a lot of apologies. And he also deserves people understanding what he brings to the game. It's blocks, rebounds, and great defense, great lob opportunities. He's not a great free throw shooter. I never expected him to be. Hopefully in his career, he can start getting it up there. So when he is fouled, he can make them a little bit more. But I'm not going to kill Mitchell Robinson. I refuse to, because I don't believe the Knicks win this game without Mitchell Robinson and those key offensive rebounds, those key defensive plays, the fear that he puts into the Boston Celtics shooters and their opposing penetrators and what they're trying to do inside the paint. Mitchell Robinson is a game changer. He's important for this team. He means a lot, and he helps the Knicks each and every game. And if it was up to me against the Boston Celtics, I am starting him and seeing what happens after I do that. Because in my opinion, it makes the most sense for everything that the Knicks are looking to run. But if they don't make that change, which it's unlikely, but if they don't make that change, which it's likely that they're not going to, just because you're not really going to make a lot of changes to that level, severe changes like that, when you don't have a reason to and you're up 3-1 on Boston. So unlikely, not impossible, and I would understand if they did it and also understand if they choose not to. But the one thing we all have to do is give him his flowers and give him credit. Mitchell Robinson is a monster, came through for New York in a big way, and is a very big reason, one of the main factors New York is leading this series right now and looks as good as we do in the postseason. New York is back. The Knicks are back, and Mitchell Robinson is here to shut everybody down, put on a show, and give the Knicks the best chance to win each and every game. And he did that. And now the Knicks are up 3-1 on the Boston Celtics. It's an amazing time to be a Knicks fan right now. Going back to the chat gang really quickly, I saw a super chat come in. I believe, again, it was from Poppy, so I gotta give him that credit there again. He also says, "You are the best on YouTube." Another $19.99 super chat from my guy Harris. You can see he flooded the chat here for me tonight. I really appreciate you, appreciate your support, and appreciate everything that you're doing for this community, for me, for the show, and everywhere. Thank you for your comments. I really, really do appreciate you, my guy Harris. I really do appreciate you, my guy. Harris, you're amazing, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for being part of this community, and thank you for being a loyal supporter for the Knicks Recap channel. It does mean a lot, my brother. But yeah, that's going to do it right there for Mitchell Robinson and the show here. I'm going to clip up a lot of this stuff, so definitely keep that in mind. You're going to see a lot of different clips come out about this. And hopefully you'll enjoy what I have and enjoy all the different videos that are, and then gonna enjoy all the videos that are gonna come out over the next couple of days. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And I believe that's the last topic I'm going to do for today. I'm going to try to make these post games a little bit shorter and make these roundups a little bit shorter as well too. So that way it doesn't go as long. So hopefully it doesn't go as long and we can get to where we need to get to a little bit faster. But I thank you guys for sticking with me, for tuning in, staying there with me for the entire show, even through this, and always supporting me. You guys have no idea what that means to me. But right now, we need to be hyped. We need to be excited. We are in a place that we're not supposed to be. A place that people thought was a miracle for the Knicks to be in. But it's not a miracle. It's reality. The Knicks beat the Boston Celtics in Game 4, 121 to 113. We lead this series 3-1 with a chance to close it out in Game 5 on the road in Boston on Wednesday. Best game at MSG that I've seen in a while. Best win in decades. It meant so much to everybody to get this win. You could hear it from the crowd who was singing along. New York has wanted this. We waited for this. And finally, we now have it. And we are only one game away. One win away from reaching the Eastern Conference Finals. And once we get there, anything can happen, even going to the NBA Finals. This Knicks team can do it. I believe tonight already proved why most Knicks fans believe in this team. And the craziest part about it all is you still haven't seen the best version of this Knicks team. And we still lead this series 3-1. And once you see the best version of this team, you're going to wonder how this Knicks team even got defeated in any place. Because right now, when this Knicks team, I promise you, right now, when this Knicks team plays like we all know they can play the way they can play the way we all saw them play in that second half. If they can play that way for 48 minutes, this Knicks team will be absolutely unstoppable. And I think they have that level in them. And I think we see an even better Knicks team, a team that is ready, focused, and locked in to win Game 5, win the series, and go all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think we see that Knicks team in Game 5. You haven't seen the best version of what this Knicks team can do yet. But I promise you, in my opinion, that team shows up in Boston for Game 5. And I am here for it, and I absolutely cannot wait for it. But what about you guys? What did you think about the Knicks' great, amazing comeback win in Game 4 tonight, with New York winning 121 to 113, leading this series 3-1? Let me know in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.